And we're here. This is Ted Hicks, Late Night Parents. Ways to follow us on Twitter, Real Ted Hicks or Late Night Parent. Facebook.com/Late Night Parents. Or our website, latenightparents.com. Happy to be back. It is the 20th of August. A couple of minutes past the bottom part of the hour. Love the instrumental that's still going on. It's a little extended beat. Gotta say what's up to everyone out there who's listening to the show. Listening live on 1240 AM WGBB, the station that serves your community. I gotta get my voice ready because I love that promo. That's been with WGBB for so long. So where do I get started? This is the last Saturday that I'm doing the show on WGBB. I know, you're about to shed a tear. But unfortunately, you're not done with me because we're going to be on, this is a spoiler alert, Sundays, 7 p.m., Eastern Time, weekly. I guess, we were in the AA or AAA, and Jeff and Brian and the rest of them wanted to bring us up to the majors. So that's good news about that. We're going to be on weekly Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Happy to be here. Happy to be with this family, with the array of shows that are on here. But we'll be on just before Sports Talk New York. So I guess I'm going to have to get my sports game up a little bit. Brian, the super producer and engineer says, no, you don't have to get your sports game up. You know, Brian doesn't know. I do a baseball podcast Saturday mornings. He doesn't know that. However, want to say thanks to our radio partners near and far that play the show. You know, yes, the folks on Long Island get to listen, bi-weekly and soon to be weekly. But our radio partners near and far, AM FM 247 plays us 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, AM FM 247.com. I want to say thanks to UNIR Radio. They play us every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Life Improvement Radio plays us every Monday, 10 a.m. Want to thank our friends at I-95 Sports Network. They play us Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. Our newest affiliate, Mile High Radio. I don't know the time, but they're going to be playing us at least once or twice a week. That's HIRadio.com. I want to thank the friends out there in Denver for making those things happen. The Underground, the under.us, want to say thanks for playing us every Thursday and Saturday, 12 p.m. Central Time. Thank you, guys. Now, I know, really appreciate the support. And those are our major partners that play us. Like I said, this is home base, WGBB, 1240 AM. But want to thank the partners there and far. The 405 Radio. I would be remiss if I forgot them. Out in the West Coast, they play us 24/7. Want to say thank you also to XRP Radio in the UK. I have no idea, but on my iHeart stream, I get so much traffic from the UK, so I want to thank the good friends at XRP Radio. But I'm not sure if you know, but today is National Radio Day. I'm wondering if the plethora of shows before me mentioned that it was National Radio Day. But along with that, we'll be talking about a whole host of topics today that will impact you. Because guess what? Right around the corner, it's almost back to school. We're going to be talking about back to school. But before that, I think every show, 5 minutes into the show, we have a regular segment from your friends and mine, Dr. Michele Reed. She joins us. Well, I was going to say biweekly, but she's going to be joining us weekly with a segment, getting us right, because August is also National Immunization Awareness Month. So we're going to bring on Dr. Michele right now. Dr. Michele, how you doing?
Happy Radio Day.
Happy Radio Day to you too, my friend.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, my goodness. So it's been a very long, stressful 2 weeks. We've seen our candidates go back and forth, and some things that have come out of their mouths, and I don't know. But besides that, it's always pleasant to get to talk to you on the radio. But, the last time we spoke, I guess I overlooked that it's National Immunization Awareness Month and also ADHD Awareness Month. So there's a lot of things going on, but wanted to know what's going on in your world, because there's nothing better than going to your website or following the hashtag FitDoc or AskDrMichele.com to find out what's the motivation. There's the Monday motivation. There's something.
Health Tip Tuesday.
Yes.
And the random videos here and there.
You being extra special, doing something, in the community or at NX, Next Gen. So what's going on in your world?
Well, I guess the focus this week has to be, and for the next couple of weeks in general, has to be staying focused. What keeps you focused? What motivates you? Yesterday I was out running. I had to do an 8-mile run. And as I'm out running in the morning, I'm like, why the heck am I doing this?
Right.
Why did I sign up for a marathon? And then I thought about it the night before. One of my patients came in. She's a teenager and is in her last year of high school. And she's like, I really like running track, but track is so mental. And I said, you know what? Track is not the only sport that's mental. I said they're all mental, because you get to a point where why am I doing this? And what's my purpose? What's my motivation? So focus has to be something that you keep in mind. Why are you doing it? Are you doing something that you're exercising because you want to look good? Or are you exercising because you want to feel good? Are you exercising because you're trying to lose weight because you have a family reunion coming up or a high school reunion and you want to go to the homecoming? So what is your focus and what is your motivation for what you're doing,
Perfect. I mentioned it being National Immunization Awareness Month, and you've told us before in the past, whether on the podcast or on our show on WGBB, that it's important to update, your children's vaccinations, and it should be added to the back-to-school list. Vaccines offer the best-known protection against the many life-threatening and debilitating diseases out there. So, for the parent, and I'm not telling on myself, that might not be up to snuff with my child, and I don't want to get that threatening letter from my child's school, what should I be thinking of in this last, we're around about the last 18 days of summer vacation?
Well, for the most part, you want to make sure that your child has their up-to-date physical. And when they go for their physical, that's when the doctor will actually look to see to make sure that they have all the vaccinations that they need. More times than not, if the kids are already in the school system, they should have everything that they need. But at the same time, things sometimes can fall by the wayside. Our TDAP, which is our tetanus, acellular pertussis booster that we get for tetanus, usually is done in junior high school level. And now lately they are adding a meningitis shot that a lot of the colleges are requiring if a child is going to stay on campus that they are immunized against meningitis. We know that there are two forms of meningitis. There is a viral one and there is a bacterial one. At the same time, the bacterial one is the one where you have to get antibiotics for in order to get better. And the viral one is the one where eventually it'll just go away on its own, and the viral one is a lot more common. But at the same time, whatever you feel that you want to immunize your child for, I highly recommend that you talk to the doctor. And if you don't feel comfortable with the immunization, it's always best to discuss why you feel the way you feel with your child's doctor, because a lot of times you're just concerned about the moment. You're not thinking about what will happen if my child does not receive this vaccination, and that's something that we more so have to think about, the long-term effects of not receiving vaccinations.
Very, very important. I got to tell you, Dr. Michele, you drop jewels every time that you come on here.
I'm going to start charging you.
I know. It's like,
How much is your
goodness. Oh, my goodness. $20.
We're going to add a few zeros to that one.
Oh, my goodness. Hey, before you go, I just want to throw out this question to help our parents out there. And I guess the question is, how do we stress the importance of balancing school, work, sports, and other commitments to our kids without sounding like we're lecturing them? I just want to throw that out to you as a mom first, and doctor second.
For me, school is the main focus. Exercise is a secondary focus that we have that can come about either through school activity.
I think we might have just lost Dr. Michele.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Yes, so when I say sports, I'm talking about the intramural sports or even the team sports that the kids have, or involving them in activities outside of school. That could be any type of activity that they like to do that pertains to exercise. So as long as you can have a balance and make sure that the kids understand that when you exercise, that helps you to stay focused, which I said was our tip for the week.
Yes.
To stay focused because you have more oxygen, bringing those red blood cells to the brain, and you're able to retain your information better and remember it better, and you get better sleep, which is a key thing that a lot of times kids aren't getting because they're busy on their phones or they're busy on their gaming systems or the computers, and they're not interacting with each other, and they're barely sleeping. So those are the things that you get. So there has to be a balance with doing well academically, doing well and staying committed. Once you join a team, even if the team is losing, you stay with the team because that's your commitment to your team. The same way as if your mom or your dad as a child upsets you, you don't walk away from your family.
That's true.
Family is family and team is team. Same concept.
I will stop right here and say, once again, this is a pilot episode of Ask Dr. Michele, because the amount of information you're dropping here on this segment, oh my goodness, I don't know what to say. I will say this much. Best ways of finding out more about you, finding more about your website and all the above.
Well, the best way to reach us is through the web. And website is AskDr Michele, Michele.com, and that's AskDrMichele.com. And if you need to come into the office because your child needs to have that physical and needs to get shots before they go back to school, the office number is 516-794-2200. That's 516-794-2200. 2200, and we have offices in Garden City, Long Island, and Rosedale, Queens.
You are the very, very best. I want to thank you once again, and Dr. Michele, we're going to be speaking with you soon. I think you might have heard we're moving to Sundays at 7. So
that's right. Looking forward to that.
I think there's a spot for someone at 7:05.
Yes, and our next radio day will be together in the studio.
Yes, you got that one. You got it right.
All right, here's a great show.
All right, thanks again.
Thank you.
And that was Dr. Michele. So excited always to have her expertise Yes, she's a doctor. She's also a mom. Does all the right things and has a great family and just overall a great person. So, with that, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll be back. I think today, only one other guest we have scheduled coming in at the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
Lights will guide you home and ignite.
1240 WGBB Freeport.
Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook of your choice and a free 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/late-night-parents and choose from over 180,000 audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It's that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/late-night-parents. That's audibletrial.com/late-night-parents and get started today. Why Audible? Audible content includes more than 180,000 audio programs from the leading audiobook publishers, broadcasters, entertainers, magazine and newspaper publishers, and business information providers. That's audibletrials.com/late-night-parents.
Are you looking for some sick sports apparel? DHTK designed some of the newest and coolest brands such as Represent, Game Over, and Don't Hate the King. DHTK's vision is to integrate culture, fashion, and attitude that best represents the players and caters to us, the fans. Click on DHTK.com and subscribe to their mailing list for an automatic 10% off your order. If you are a basketball fan, follow DHTK on social media. Visit DHTK.com for more details. DHTK.com. You don't have to be a king to dress like one.
If you like your radio a bit on the fantastic side, try listening to the Happy Hour Network on Blog Talk Radio. The Happy Hour Network features live shows such as Late Night Parents with Ted Hicks, Baseball, Beer, and Barbecue with Ted, Todd Vandenberg, and Lee Vowell, If you like your radio a bit on the fantastic side, try listening to the Happy Hour Network on Blog Talk Radio. The Happy Hour Network features live shows such as Late Night Parents with Ted Hicks, Baseball, Beer, and Barbecue with Ted, Todd Vandenberg, and Lee Vowell, The Seahawks Show with Kevin Daggett, and NBA Full Court Press with Danny Thompson. You can also catch podcasts like The Fwat Show, The Earnestly Speaking Podcast, Cinema Savants, and The Tennis Scene, found at blogtalkradio.com/Happy Hour Network. The Happy Hour Network, radio worth listening to. I am loving my Verizon FiOS. In fact, I recently joked that if we move, we have to find a place with FiOS coverage. To my surprise, our family actually agreed. Not only is FiOS the fastest internet service, it also has never been down, with the exception of when Storm Sandy hit us. And indeed, only FiOS gives you the same speed uploading, for your files, photos, etc., as it does downloading, as in HD movies. Cable cannot offer you this, only FiOS. So go ahead, make a very smart choice with Verizon FiOS.
And we're back. And we're back. Okay. I think I said the focus was National Radio Day. And we were also talking about it being, August being National Immunization Month. It's also National ADHD Awareness Month. There's a lot of things going on this month that we wanted to make sure that you're aware. Wanted to just read a quick synopsis of how to discipline a child with ADHD while avoiding feelings of guilt. The symptoms associated with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder can put even the best parent skills to the test. Children and teenagers with ADHD don't listen, or at least don't seem to listen. They often fail to complete tasks, whether it's a school assignment or a household chore. They can be impulsive, hitting a sibling or classmate when they feel frustrated, or failing to wait their turn when playing a game. As the spotlight is put on the condition, which is ADHD Awareness Month, it's worth noting that the disorder has an impact on the parents as well as the offspring. Irritated by repeated undesirable behaviors, mothers and fathers lash out, dealing more harshly with infractions than they should. Later, feeling guilty because of their overreaction, the parents may allow the child to get away with other misbehaviors. Then tension builds, until once more the peeved parents explode and begin feeling guilty about their reactions all over again. It's important to break that cycle of guilt when dealing with the ADHD child. The best way to do that is to deal with the difficult behavior whenever it occurs and not allowing the tension to build up. Retraining difficult behavior patterns is an essential part of treatment for ADD. Some tips on it, on dealing, helping parents dealing with children with ADHD and avoiding those guilty feelings. You have to define the desired and undesirable behaviors. Before you can shape behavior, you need to be clear on what behaviors you want and don't want. A desirable behavior might be doing homework before they go out to play. An undesirable behavior might be talking back to a parent. Establish how often negative or positive behaviors occur. Keep a log for anywhere from a week to a month to track how many times a behavior occurs. Having a baseline will allow you to know whether your interventions are having an effect. The key thing here is to communicate rules and expectations clearly. When children know what is expected of them, they're much more likely to do it. Too often, parents believe children should know how to act without the rules being clearly communicated. You have to reward desired behavior. Once clear expectations are given, it's essential to reward a hug or a small present, a trip to the library, the park, or even money. Administer clear, unemotional consequences for negative behavior. Be in control of your emotions. Don't nag or belittle the child. And use logical consequences. For example, if a child refuses to put away his or her toys, the toys could be taken away for a few days. The key is having a good relationship with the child is perhaps the most important factor. With a good parent-child relationship, almost any form of discipline will work. With a poor child relationship, any form of discipline will probably fail. Relationships require two things: time and a willingness to listen. I wanted to discuss that because I'm talking about ADHD awareness, and it's October, but you know what? It should be every month. We got to keep our eyes and ears open for our children who experience, who have specific disabilities. It's also back to school awareness. We got to make sure, does your child have back to school anxiety? You really have to ask yourself, because we're about 18, 19 days away. Before you know, it's going to be Labor Day. And then what? Your child will be getting ready, it'll be that Sunday night, it'll be that Monday night, because I think most of the kids are going back right after Labor Day. The schools that are down south or south of the tri-state area will already be in session. But you have to ask yourself, did you know that anxiety issues are the most common mental health disorders in children? There are an estimated 18 million children and teens who suffer from anxiety. The National Institute of Mental Health reports that 25% of teenagers have issues of anxiety, and the statistics don't take into account the young people who are undiagnosed or don't reach out for help. You got to think about it. because back to school, it's as I said before, it's right around the corner. What are some of the things that you could do to get prepared? You got to start early. You got to give your child a preview. Shopping together for school supplies. Facilitate friendships. Talk up positives. And what about those that are sick of school literally? What about dealing with when anxiety about school masks something else? Now, I'm leaving those topics up there because we're going to, believe it tonight, the blog post goes live about this very article on getting ready to go back to school, dealing with your kids, and some tips. So this information will be available on latenightparents.com. We hope you visit the website to take a look. And we always try to have something up there that's new, that's interesting, that's educational. The best thing about latenightparents.com is the website. This show and the podcast is nothing more than a continuation of the website. So there's all types of articles that are up there. We talk, whether we're here or abroad, we talk with game changers in the world of technology, education. We haven't done a product review today, and we won't. We won't do a product review today. It's not one of those days, okay? We talk a little bit of sports. We haven't talked about really sports. We talked a little bit about youth sports in a segment with Dr. Michele. The one bit of sports I will talk about is tonight. Are you guys excited about the match? And this is for our pro wrestling fans. Tomorrow night is SummerSlam. It's happening at Barclays Center. Are you going? And do you guys have your subscription to watch it online? Well, tonight is like the appetizer, because it's going to be the NXT show is going to be tonight, Saturday night. It's real wrestling, folks. As much as, yes, we know it's sports entertainment, the Saturday show before the main show is with the wrestlers that are out there. So Sensei Nakamura and Samoa Joe and all those folks. I know my son's going to be watching tonight. But right after that, another sport, because we haven't talked about the Olympics or anything else like that. But tonight, MMA, UFC 202. Not sure if you guys got the subscription for that. But the main line, the main event, Conor McGregor. McGregor Diaz too. I don't think there's ever been a UFC card where you're really not even aware of the undercard. You just hear about, the major headliners. So, as we've talked about UFC and we've talked about a lot of things, a couple of weeks ago, we had the pleasure of having a few gentlemen. God does wonderful things because he puts different people in your life for a specific reason and at a specific time. And the gentleman I'm across the table from right now, Reverend Reginald Benjamin, I met him many, 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 many years ago in Hempstead. We were working on a project, and I really, we were doing it for the village of Hempstead. And it was, it kind of escapes me, but I remember Claude, Claude, I forgot the gentleman's last name. Claude Gooding. So we were sitting across the table, and we were talking about events that could happen at Faith Baptist Church, upstairs in the theater. And we were talking about the village of Hempstead and certain things to do. And that's when I first crossed paths with this gentleman. And really, really excited because he was really charged up. And that fire has not left him at all through the years. Because I might not post a lot of things on Facebook, but I watch, I look, I listen, I observe. And I see that same fire is there. No matter whatever the situation is, he's there. He's about the community. A few weeks ago, he was here to talk with us about a rally that was going to be in Hempstead. We also, on our podcast, got together to talk about the rally and to talk about a few other things. We're going to do a recap of the rally, but I really want to learn more about, and really want Long Islanders to learn more about the ABBA Life Center, because that's what we hear about. And I'm a man of my word, because I said 2 weeks ago, I want you to come back. Amen. And I'm glad that you're here. So with that, Brother Benjamin, the floor is yours. If you can give us a recap of last week's.
First of all, Mr. Hicks, I just want to thank you for this extraordinary, rare opportunity to come before your listening audience, just to be able to share not so much of what Reginald Benjamin is doing or what ABBA leadership is doing, but what God is doing through this work that he's called us to do. In regards to last week's rally, I thought it went exceptionally well. You may recall, if you're was on the radio a couple of weeks ago talking about an upcoming rally, talking about peace in the streets, an initiative that was a collaboration of a number of groups with student minister Muhammad out front, and I worked closely along with a young brother, James Muhammad, and we pushed that forward because what we was concerned about is black-on-black violence, not so much of violence with everybody else, not police violence, but so many of our young people, to me, being self-destructive in their own community. And so we came together with a number of community-based groups, including the mayor who was out, even the the deputy speaker was all the way out from Albany, Miss Earlene Hooper. We had a number of legislators that was out there. It was really a major turnout, but the climax of the whole thing is there was a family who lost their son.
Right.
That entire family was out there to encourage people to stop the violence so that we, in fact, could have peace in the streets. That initiative, we're carrying it on this coming Thursday at 6 o'clock. We're joined with the new Democratic Club of Hempstead. We'll be speaking about those different issues, and then again on Saturday, which is one of the key things I want to talk about, at our back to school event, where we're going to have close to 1,500 to 2,000 people.
Wow.
And we want to talk specifically about the needs for us to stand together, to be more united and more peaceful as our young people are transitioning back into the school system. We yet have one of the worst graduation rates in the county. And they are working good to turn that situation around, but we also have other issues, different splinter groups that are fighting against one another. And so we want to make this back to school, which is a celebratory time of the year, every year for the last 12 years for us. We want to include the components about peace in the streets, learning how to work together, learning how to develop ways to resolve conflict,
right.
Conflict resolution, the agenda. We want to even bring it to the school. Mr. Muhammad, it seemed to be somebody that is definitely being used for this time to do this kind of work. So those are the kinds of things that we're looking to do. But again, I'm very, 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 very excited about this coming Saturday with our back to school program. It's humongous. It's an opportunity to minister, to lift up our young people who are, many of them are discouraged, don't have the proper tools necessary to start off the school year. So we want to give them a free backpack with all of the school supplies that they need. And I don't believe in giving people hand-me-down.
No.
If I don't want it, why should I give it to somebody else? So we want to make sure that we give them quality products, quality school supplies, so that when they get ready to go back to school, they at least have equal footing. They'll be able to step into school prepared to learn. And those things that we don't have, it is a minor things that they might be able to purchase themselves. We're also going to be providing coats for them, brand new coats. We got some coats from the district attorney office, some clothes that were seized in forfeiture. And they donated those clothes to the community, and we'll be giving it to the people in those communities. We had Family and Children Associates going to give us over 500 pair of jeans that we're going to be giving out to the people. This is all free. We have another organization called Broken But Not Destroyed. Mm-hmm. They're coming out, giving out clothes. They're going to be setting up food to give to people, and everything, by the way, is free. We're going to have bouncies and blow-ups. We have the mayor as one of our keynote speakers. We have the president of the school board coming out. Again, we're going to have the deputy speaker, Earlene Hooper, coming out. We're going to have Dr. Gates, a renowned pastor or bishop in the village of Hempstead. He'll be coming out. We have a number of great, significant people, because my message is simple. Mm-hmm. I just want the young people to know, the kids to know, that no matter how difficult it may seem, we have people in our community that love them, right, care about them, want to undergird them, support them, and love. We cheering them going back to school because we believe that education is the most important thing. You know, most 85% of the young people that end up in Nassau County Jail, where I happen to be a chaplain, 85% of them haven't graduated out of high school. And there's a correlation to that. So we want to celebrate, encourage, motivate, uplift, and push our children forward to getting a better education. Letting them know without an education, you stand a chance of falling through the cracks. And as soon as you fall through, there's an enemy on the other side waiting to pick you up.
That's so true. So true. I got to tell you, you have to be commended. I mean, I understand it's bigger than you. I understand that. There's the organization. And then now, you know, or should I say over the past 12 years, other entities have jumped in.
Yes.
Jumped in. And you know, some of them jump in for the right reasons.
Right.
Some of them jump in for publicity.
Right.
And tax write-offs and everything else like that. But they're involved.
That's right.
And that's the key thing. They're involved. You have to continue. I don't have to tell you this.
Let me say something to you.
To push that message.
You want to tell? Let me just say this to you right quick, because I want you to understand that. You're right. When we first started, it was ABBA Leadership Center primarily.
Yes.
And I got to admit, in the very beginning, I'm saying now everybody want to be copycats and all that.
Right.
But let me tell you something. God had to shut me down.
Okay.
Because I was being a little bit selfish and fleshly. And God reminded me about a story in the book of Acts. I mean, about the Apostle Paul.
Okay.
Paul said people start setting up and spreading the gospel to create contention, and to bring more suffering on him. But he said he looked past all of that. He said whether they are doing it for contention,
right,
or in sincerity, he says, make no difference to me as long as the good news is being spread. And so learning that principle, you know, you're thinking about me giving a few backpacks and other people seeing it and seeing it's something that they want to do and come alongside of it. So we went from giving out 1,000 backpacks to over 10,000 backpacks are given out across the village of Hempstead annually at this point. Right. And if God saw fit to make me be somebody to provoke other people into doing that, I'm very happy about that. There's a verse in the book of Hebrews that simply says this: provoke your brother onto good works in love. And so if we're giving out these backpacks, provoke other people to give it out, listen, to God be the glory.
Amen. I'll tell you that much. But I want to go into something, because I had to make that previous statement.
Okay.
For a reason.
Okay.
Because, yes, you're giving out backpacks, and it's an honorable thing, and we're so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
However, there's a lot of other work that you're doing, whether it's Thanksgiving, whether it's Mother's Day, whether it's Christmas. The folks don't know about that type of stuff. I mean, our listeners right now is like, oh, you're doing something for backpacks. It's so much bigger than that.
Well, I want to be clear.
Okay.
To start giving out backpacks come from a bigger agenda. Like I said, I'm a chaplain in Nassau County Jail. I work with the young people 18 through 24 for years.
Okay.
And I sat there in those groups. Many of them did not graduate out of high school. And the preponderance of the young people that are in there are those people that are dropped out of school. So it was motivated behind other works and other agendas, other issues that we was dealing with. I know that no young person could basically survive without an education.
True.
So working in the jail, we had a lot of young men that we wanted to push to go back to school. We wanted to encourage them when they come out to do the right thing. And so that comes out of that. We also wanted to connect with the family. Mm-hmm. Most people think if you fix the person, you solve the problem. But when most of our children come out of a multifaceted level of circumstances and problems and disabilities. And so we wanted to touch those families, and we reach out to those families, demonstrate in very tangible ways that we love them. This is one of the reasons why the backpack was started. One of the other things that we do is critical to everything I do. I believe that you can give a person a fish and feed him for the day. But if you give him a fishing rod, you will teach him how to feed his family for a lifetime. So one of the things that we did after working with young people, we realized that we needed to create an initiative to get employment to our young people. So we created a program way back in 2005 called the Job Readiness Work Experience for hard-to-employ young men and women within the village of Hempstead. And that program we developed, we started working with partners and friends and getting people jobs. And one day I realized that the construction work that was going on in our community wasn't representative of the people.
Right.
The people that was employed on those jobs was people from Buffalo, Jersey. We even had people coming from Tennessee. So we went to some of those construction workers. We thought we was going to have a problem. But I'll tell you something, when God is with you, when God is on your side, the Bible says when God be for you, who can be against you? So when we went to those employers, we started saying, listen, why don't you hire people from the local community? Why don't you give them a shot instead of hiring other people? To my surprise, some of these people was waiting for that and looking for that. So one of the first jobs we got, we took some people out all the way out to Nordstrom, Brooklyn from Long Island to Nordstrom Baptist Church. We started renovating that church with 10 men. Well, out of that 10 men, and they see us doing that, we got jobs in Twin Oaks. We had 60-something odd men there. We got jobs over at 303. We had 70-something men working over there. We got the jobs to do the South Franklin Street with G&F Development. We got over 70 people working over there. All throughout Long Island and Nassau County, we was able to place people in entry-level jobs. And many of those people, I wish I had this time, many of those people went on to do great things. Some of them they done become tradesmen, and they're bringing in other people to the tune right now from that small beginning. We had over 300 people that we got jobs and working, and many of them continue to work. Right now, I'm the consultant for the village of Hempstead. If this Renaissance project ever gets started, $2.5 billion, it will revolutionize our community. It will empower people that are suffering. It will give people a sense of hope that many are gone hopeless. But let me back up a little.
Okay.
Right now, if you look across this country, they said over 58% of people from the minority community, particularly our youth, are unemployed. In the village of Hempstead, we have 28% unemployment. Right in the village of Hempstead, where we have our beloved our beloved county executive, Edmund Ganner, talking about the unemployment is 3.7. 3.7, and then right in the village of Hempstead, you have 28%. I think it's time out for the nonsense, because somebody is being left behind.
Right.
And let me tell you the key factor. In most minority communities, the unemployment rate is still jacked up. It's still out of proportion. And people are wondering why young people are angry, why they are bitter. If you walk down the street in your community and everybody that is working don't live in your community, don't think much of you, wouldn't that make you upset just a little? And don't tell me they don't have the experience. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to wave a flag. I don't think you have to be a rocket scientist to lift up a little bit of sheetrock. I don't believe you have to be a rocket scientist to learn how to do plumbing. I don't think, give people an equal chance to go to work and you can change lives. And that's what ABBA leadership about, working with our partners. Thank God that God has saw fit to raise up key churches, and you'll be surprised of the churches that support what we're trying to do. And they are major supporters. They said, Brother Reggie, we can't get out and do the grinding work that you do, but we can get behind you. We can support you. That's why I want to thank God for my partners and people like Living Faith Christian Church. I want to thank God for people like Shelter Rock Church, New Hyde Park Baptist Church. These are the kinds of partners that we have that are coming alongside of us in significant ways. I got other partners who say, you know what? We know that there's a suffering community, and we believe that God has called you to do something about it. We want to help you in a very real and tangible way. And that's why we're able now to do not just the back to school. We reach out to over 400 mothers every year. We just had our 10th Mother's Day celebration. 400 mothers. Brother, I wish I could tell you about this. See, I had a mother's too. My mother passed away when I was 16 years old. I never had the opportunity to say thank you. And it was 8 boys and 3 girls in that one family and a single-parent mother. She did a Herculean job to raise us. And I said to myself, I need to show the people in the community that these are strong mothers, that these are mothers that are the glue that hold family together. So we started our Mother's Day program. And we said, you know what, all you got to do is come. We only want them to do one thing. If they come, we will serve them. The only thing we won't do for them is go to the bathroom for them. The rest of the stuff, we got it. We have great gospel artists coming out. Elder Ballard come out and serenade them. We give each mother a free flower. We make sure that they get a flower plant because I don't believe in giving out anything that's going to die. We make sure they get beautiful gifts. We make sure they get a full 3-course meal. We make sure that there's someone there with a message to encourage them. And when they walk out, I'll tell you what, they had a better Mother's Day than the average mother because we want them to know that they are our heroes. They are the unsung heroes of these communities. And so we reach out to bless them. The other thing that we have, brother, is what we call the Thanksgiving celebration.
You got it.
I struggle with the whole thing about soup kitchens where you're going to take a kid that's 3, 4, 5 years old to a soup kitchen around people that have issues, if you will. And I don't want to criticize soup kitchens per se. What I'm saying is when you got a family, the only reason why they're standing on a soup kitchen line, they don't have the food at home. We give them a Thanksgiving basket full of all the condiment, extra stuff that they need, whether it be sweet potatoes, beans, string beans, and we give them a turkey, each one, so they can eat at home in a normal environment. And also we give them a message. We try to encourage them. We do a Christmas thing, 1,000 Christmas gift, and we target kids that really need it because there are some people that don't need, but they're kind of greedy. We're not there to serve the greedy, but we are there to help the needy. And most of them just need a help along. Those are some of the programs that we have. We created a new program called the Black Jobs Matter, and that wasn't intended for any racial racism or anything like that. We wanted to take advantage of the climate.
Correct.
To say, everybody's upset about what's happening in our community. The real problem in our community is economics.
You got it. You got it.
So that's what we are pushing. We are pushing the whole idea of if you really want to help us or you really want to work with us, don't come patting us on the back and telling me you feel sorry for me. What I need is a job to feed my kids. What I need a job to take care of my family. I don't need low-income housing if I got a job that I can afford to live in decent housing.
Correct.
You know, I don't even like this whole concept when we can put young men and women to work to bring up their standard of living. We looking to come down. We want to bring their living down by serving them all kinds of stuff. I say if a man is willing, ready, and able to work, and you have no excuse for not putting him to work, put that man to work.
Put him to work.
I guarantee you'll reduce crime. Right now, they tell us 1 in 3 African American will end up in the criminal justice system.
Correct.
I guarantee you, if they had a job, that number will go down dramatically. They're talking about over 51% of the prisons across the country are African American. Why? Most of them don't have jobs. Most of them don't have opportunity. And let me tell you something else they do. Once they get a criminal record,
that's it.
Man, they don't even have to violate no law. They don't have to worry about any kind of lawsuits about discrimination, and it's just another form of discrimination. In fact, this woman named Alexander is her name, Michele Alexander, put out a book called The New Jim Crow. And it talks about the manipulation of the criminal justice system to keeping the people down and oppressed. And I don't want to get into a whole deep thing about it, but this is true. I wonder why somebody with a petty crime, such as a small amount of reefer, got 4 years in the criminal justice system. How's that justice? I don't want to go too deep into it.
No.
But the work that we're trying to do through ABBA Leadership Center is to save lives.
Yes.
And we're not exclusive to African American, but I'm passionate about that. Because I see what's going on with our young people, and I believe if they're given a small chance, if they're given enough faith as small as a mustard seed, I believe our entire community will be transformed. I am brother Hicks. I am so tired of with these do-gooders that want to come into poor community to help the poor Negroes. And all they do is ingratiate and enrich themselves at our expense. You look around, other people's kids are going to college, our kids are going to jail. How is that helpful? All our people need is an opportunity to go to work, to get some training, and to be built up. That's why I'm in support of Mayor Wayne Hall. Now, I'm not a politician.
Okay.
I'm not into politics and all of that, but I know that this man is talking about bringing development in our community. And you know the people who are mad the most?
Who?
The people who already got everything. They're talking about, that's gentrification and all of this. Meanwhile, you live over in Rockville Center somewhere, rich in a mansion, and you're going to come save the poor Negroes. We need the people in our community to stand up to represent themselves. And if they are doing development in every part of Nassau County, and the only place they're not doing any building is the village of Hempstead, and when you look around, 91% of that community is either African American or Hispanic. That got to tell you something.
That's true.
And then you hear the people who are really protesting against it. These are people that don't live in our community.
Right.
How is it you concerned about me? You can come out of Rockville Center. You can come out of, I don't even know where some of these people come from. To say that you represent our community, you love us, you care about us. The last... Lord help me! I'm on the radio over here. I want to be careful.
You got to be real careful.
I got to be careful. I'm on the radio.
I don't want to get fired.
I'm going to be careful, but I'm going to tell the whole truth and not but the truth to help me God. You want to help us. You want to help the poor community. You want to help African American, Latino community. Give people an opportunity to go to work. Stop coming in talking about giving housing for the poor. You don't have to pay nothing because you poor. No, give me a job. Give me a decent wage, and I'll pay for my own home. I'm a man. I'm a man. I'd rather pay for my own. I don't want you always giving me stuff. That might make you feel good, but I don't feel good about you patting me on my back and you done gave me a dog bone, and I got to hope you come back tomorrow. Give me a job.
Brother Benjamin, I want to thank you for joining us today. We're getting ready to close this segment and close our show, but I wanted to let you know, starting September 4th, we will be on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. weekly. So don't think that I won't be calling on you.
I look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Whether it's a phone call or us driving up here together to get on and talk about some of these issues.
Yes, sir.
You know,
I'm sorry I got so fired.
No, that's good.
Apologies.
Because that's the fire that I was talking about when I met you. I don't know if it was 12 or 15 years ago.
It was a while back.
It was a while back. But I want to thank you so much, brother. I want to thank you for what you're doing, how God is moving you and ABBA Life Center.
Thank you, sir.
And you got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing.
There's no stop right now.
That is it. So with that, hey, if there's someone in need, what should they do?
Please, you can call my office. It's ABBA Leadership Center. The number is 516-493-9840. If you're interested in a backpack drive, just simply speak to Deandra or Moss. She'll be able to help you, take you, register you, and make sure that we accommodate you for any other things in terms of jobs and other issues that we deal with through my organization. You can call that same number, 516-493-9840. You can ask for, I love to refer to my street name as Evangelist Reginald Benjamin, and we'll be able to address your needs.
You got it. Hey, we want to thank all of our guests today, Dr. Michelle, Evangelist, Minister, Reverend, Leader, Reginald Benjamin, and I think that's the show. Want to thank our friends at 1240 AM WGBB. Want to thank our engineer, Brian, and we'll be on September 4th, 7 p.m. Looking forward to it. God bless.
Street, down your face.